with a name like this, I was always destined to be a geologist, a gemologist, or a stripper. Can you guess which one I am? That's right, I'm a geologist. Or rather, I'm a volcanologist. And no, this has nothing to do with Star Trek and the volcanoes. I study volcanoes. So this involves a lot of trekking, but does not make me a Trekkie. I quite frequently get asked several questions, but one of the most frequent question I get asked is, what's your number? And a more important question that I get asked, which is kind of more interesting as well, but doesn't really get asked very often, is why do volcanoes go bang? So my answer to this is quite automatic. It's like, oh, well, it's 07924. Wait, hang on. Wait a second there, my friend. Did you just ask a question about banging volcanoes? Well, it's always good when a scientist gets asked to explain something. So I'm guessing by now, a few of you may have had a couple of drinks. Maybe you're beginning to feel the effects of those drinks, with the gases building up inside your stomach. If you were at home, you might, pass wind or trumpet, frog, or float an air biscuit here and there, and you'll be feeling fine by bedtime. But right here, right now, maybe that's not so acceptable. So you hold on to those gases, and you feel the pressure build up, and up, and up, until you explode! So it's quite the same for volcanoes. So I guess that volcanic eruptions are actually the Earth's farts. And my word, they don't half stink. Do you think that your dog, or your partner, or husband smells bad after a beer and a kebab? Although I don't recommend giving your dog a beer or a kebab. Not if you're fond of the dog, or you have any self-worth. But anyway, it's a good job that volcanoes are not living organisms, and they can't just pop down to the pub followed by a takeaway. Because if they could, then our species as a whole could very well be extinct. Volcanoes emit vast amounts of sulfur, which make them smell like the rottenest of rotten eggs. Although no one's actually ever smelled the rottenest of rotten eggs. It's just what we imagine the rottenest of rotten eggs would smell like. So perhaps it would be more appropriate to say that rotten eggs smell like volcanoes. Just an idea. That's a tangent. So as a geologist, I spend a lot of my time outside doing field work, basically poking around in holes. And I have to carry around some very important equipment, just like any beautiful, attractive, funny, maybe, stunning, or innocent-looking young lady. I almost continually carry around with me the hammer and a bottle of acid. So yes, you can frequently find me in a field with some acid, although this isn't the normal acid that you'd find someone playing about with in a field. It's more like a really strong vinegar, which is guaranteed to leak out of its shit. Leak out of its container in your trousers, leak down your leg, and burn a hole in those trousers. Hence why I spend a lot of my time poking around in holes. So what does a volcanologist do after a hard day in the field? What do I do to unwind? Well, you may have heard that geologists make the bedrock. Well, last night, after a whole day at it in the field, I was the wettest I have ever been. Oh my gosh, last night, that night, I learned the true definition of heaven. Some of you may have cottoned on to what I'm talking about here. Warm. This one might throw you a bit thick. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fluffy pajamas. Yes, fluffy pyjamas are the true definition of heaven when you've spent all day outside in the pissing rain, making you the wettest you have ever been in your entire life. Before I moved to Scotland. And I've completely mucked up my set, so I'm going to like, make something out. Oh god, improv. So, yeah, so, that's it, right, on it. No, not on it. So in my research, I don't just study any old farts. Going back to the fart thing, you know. I study hydrovolcanic farts. Or maybe, just in case somewhere out there my supervisor is lurking, I should probably refer to them as eruptions. So, hydrovolcanic eruptions involve magma coming into contact with water. So what happens when water gets involved? Well, it's like when you go out and you have one too many drinks. And you sneak out and you have that cheeky takeaway on the way home. And the next day you take that wonderful, life-changing hangover shit. Which is, holy crap, just a little bit more explosive. So this basically wraps up my set. I don't think any stripper has ever wooed her audience by talking about earth farts and fluffy pyjamas. So it's a good job I'm a volcanologist. Thank you.